What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to your $15,000 EIDL grant and 24 months of working capital update. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day to you. September the 22nd, 2021. Please do me each favor, give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with your comments below. And yes, if you haven't heard it enough already, go find me over on Twitter because I'm engaging with the staff of every senator, congressman, and women who's responsible for getting you EIDL, PPP, and RRF. That's at Try Small Biz, username Small Biz Inc., the name of the company that I did form to help grow your small business, ladies and gentlemen. All right, are the 177,000 restaurants that got an absolute goose egg ever going to have a chance to get more money in the Restaurant Revitalization Fund? What are our chances of getting PPP and more EIDL for middle and high income communities? And oh my goodness, did you see ANY today up nearly 10%? So ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine. Here we go. Oh, folks. How many in the comments have a French press? Very simple one. OXO, you may have a lot of the utensils like I do. I'd say they're pretty good. This has a 4.6 star rating on Amazon. I've had a Keurig for the last, no offense to my friends at Keurig, for the last many, many years, in large part because I'm a dude and I'm busy. And I like to keep it simple. But I said, you know what? I'm getting tired of the taste. No offense to my friends who are big fans of Keurig. It seems a little bland. So I went out and got this French press. Potential sponsor? By the way, this is going to be you guys. You send me those t-shirts. You know, I like to wear funky shirts once in a while. Some of you are artists. When we launch this website, Try Small Biz, I'm going to be wearing your stuff. I'm going to have something on display. If you're an accountant, a lawyer, and I can gain your trust, I'm going to recommend you to thousands of people, and you get one or two clients that turn into 10 or 15. It's a total game changer. So OXO, hey. But anyways, you talk about velvety and creamy and twice as thick. So tell me in the comments, does anybody out there have a French press? What kind of brand is it? Is it fancy or simple like mine? And do you notice it's a heck of a lot better cup of coffee than just a Keurig? Tell me in the comments below. Or if you got something fancy, an espresso machine. I'm a big fan of coffee. It helps me get through the day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a very crucial moment. Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, just did a hell of a tap dance and said that we will end the tapering sometime next summer. So I thought that was clever as hell because instead of giving a firm answer as to when he's going to start tapering and how much, he said, we'll be done in about 9 or 10 months. So the market loved it. At least for today. However, as I said yesterday, we have now a series of lower lows and lower highs. Not to be out of the question that for the next couple of weeks, especially as we go into end of the month, it could be choppy and perhaps even to the downside. Do not panic. We're in the first year of an economic expansion. This happened in 87, 2001, and of course we sputtered out of the gate after the March 2009 lows before the market took off and nearly quadrupled. Over the course of the next 8 to 10 years, we are going significantly higher over the next 3 to 5 years. However, the next 3 to 5 weeks could be a bit dicey. So stay the course if you're an investor. If you're a trader, look to buy the dips. And speaking of dips, before I talk about RRF, PPP, and EIDL, how many of you in the comments tell me bought ANY, Allen Nancy Yellow? Allen Nancy Yellow, it was 5.5 to 5 3/4 for 2 days. I mentioned it twice, including on Twitter. And some of you are probably thinking this morning, man, it ain't going anywhere. It's sitting there at 588, 590, 595. What a piece of shit. And then kaboom, all of a sudden, it closes at 635. My advice to you, if you did not get in, is do not chase. Try and buy it on weakness. What is that? Anything under $6 a share is an absolute home run. Because in case you haven't heard the news, ANY is about to become the largest carbon negative, not just carbon neutral, carbon negative Bitcoin miner in the world. And as one example, Mara, M-A-R-A, which is about $30 a share, they're about a seventh of the size of what ANY is going to be once they get upwards of 200,000 miners by this time next year. So it's a absolute behemoth as long as Bitcoin doesn't crash. And speaking of crash, didn't I say yesterday it was probably going to come down and test 39,000, which is the trend line? Well, it did. About 2 hours after I shot the video, it came down to 39.7 and then bounced hard. It's around 43.5 right now. Is the worst over? I actually think it is. Why? Because Evergrande, the real estate holding company in Hong Kong/China, met their interest payment, which was due yesterday. So they're not insolvent, at least not yet. Who knows? The government of China could have stroked them a check so they avoid an absolute Lehman Brothers catastrophe. But for now, the market seems to think it's for real. So once again, on stocks before I move on, the next few weeks could be choppy to the downside. Do not panic. Stay the course if you're in 401k and mutual funds and dollar cost averaging, etc. If you're a trader, you buy the dip, you sell the rip. You buy the dip and you sell the rip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there are 177,000. This coffee's so good. I got to have another drink. It's like calling me. Jason. Oh, I'm almost thinking I've got to get a fancy mug. One of those tall, fancy mugs that actually keeps it a little warmer for longer. It's so good. It's so good. French press coffee. Where have you been my entire life? 177,000 restaurants got shut out of the RRF about 6 months ago when they ran out of money. And if you've been on Twitter, and the reason I'm so heavy on Twitter, in addition to YouTube, is that's where all the staff is. All the staff of Schumer, Cardin, Rosen, and everybody else, Nydia Velasquez, who runs the House Committee on the Democrat side for small business, they're all there. And most importantly, their staff is there. About a third think I'm full of shit. About a third think I should be locked up. And about a third think I'm a hero that's acting on behalf of you. But the most important thing, they read all the comments. And every time I engage, whether it's Isabel Guzman, who, by the way, is going to be at the Atlantic tomorrow. It's a festival. Don't know where it is, but she's going to be talking about the state of small business as we move through this pandemic and into the future. And I must say, you'll notice I'm rather friendly with Miss Isabel Guzman. Why is that? Well, you gather more flies with honey, as the saying goes, but I'm also very impressed with her. The SBA, ladies and gentlemen, and all you got to do is read the comments. Last night, we probably had 50 people that got funded, and you'll see me go, woo, whoo, and I'll share an emoji. It's amazing how fast they're going, $5, $6, $7 billion a week. It's so fast, in fact, that I'm losing viewers by the hour. It just keeps going down, down, down because people get their money and they go on and they do other things. Maybe some will come back, maybe they won't. So if you're suffering, if you haven't got your money, hang in there. Do not give up. That's probably the biggest reason why I do these videos. More and more people are getting their money every single day. And the most important thing you could do is get that privacy release form signed from your senators. As soon as they get on the horn with those paralegals and outsourced providers at the SBA, and they say, hey, I'm the guy that you see on TV every night. Where the fuck is application number XYZ? Oh, for whatever reason, it cuts the wait times in half. So call them, email them. Privacy release form is your subject line in the email. Brief description as to what your problem is. Somebody on the staff will forward it to you. Best advice is to get both of them. If you can get both senators in your state poking the SBA, it's an almost guarantee you're going to have your wait time cut in half and your problem's going to be solved. So I am fighting to get 177,000 people that own restaurants the money you deserve. In the House, there's the $60 billion Entree Act with Blaine Luetkemeyer. There is in the Senate $48 billion that's up for grabs that Ben Cardin is behind. So let's call it $50 billion that would be able to help. I know hundreds of restaurants, dozens in fact, right down the street here in Atlanta. I would estimate if this bill passes in the next month, if we're lucky, and it's signed and into law between, I don't know, Halloween and Thanksgiving, sometime before the end of the year, many of you that are hanging on by your fingernails will get the money that you deserve. All right, do we have a shot at PPP? Flip a coin. There's a lot of talk, and it's just talk. It's not an official bill or an amendment yet, that if they were to interject, because if you remember, Jackie Rosen put forward a $5 billion PPP bill about 3 months ago. It didn't go anywhere. $5 billion's a joke. But she did it for women, minorities, and veterans. Well, she stopped talking about that. I wonder why. Well, gee, because the SBA lost 8 lawsuits in a row playing class warfare. So suddenly, not only does she not talk about S513, she doesn't talk about that $5 billion PPP bill. So there is a chance that they're going to offer up PPP for small businesses. What I'm hearing is 10 employees or less. So does that help those that have dozens and dozens and dozens of employees? No, it does not. But the vast majority of you, almost 90% that are watching me right now, have fewer than 10 employees. So there is a chance there could be more PPP, 25 billion, 50 is probably a stretch. And are we ever going to get the money for the middle to high income communities? Flip a coin, ladies and gentlemen. No one is fighting harder than myself. Speak and See, Ryder, of course, Max Maher, you know who they are, Stephen Carlson, Aubrey Janik, JJ the CPA. Throw is Purple Power. I know a lot of you don't like the guy, but I get a kick out of him. Is he still in the fight? Is he wearing a scarf? I know the tan, and he needed some chapstick there, and I don't have much more to say, ladies and gentlemen, so let's not go on any further. We got to have a vote in the House September 27th on the 1.2 billion infrastructure. Excuse me. Slow down, Jason. The coffee's that good. $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, not the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation. That has to happen by September the 27th. And Nancy Pelosi yesterday kind of showed her cards a little bit. Very crafty woman who is retiring this coming year. She's trying to tie the Republicans' refusal to raise the debt ceiling to getting $3.5 trillion passed. So if I had to guess, it may get knocked down to 2.9 and change. And then Mitch McConnell, Mr. Darth Vader, tumbleweed through the desert, will cave and say, okay, you gave us something, we'll give you something. We raised the debt limit as Republicans. We're going to do it now as Democrats. So until next time, which will avoid a government shutdown, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, I love each and every one of you. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.